Oh, there we go. It's recording. I was like, it's not recording yet. Anyways, it's been a while since I've done this. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Latino Heat. And I'm going to go ahead and break down a couple stocks that I have on watch for the week. And I'll tell you why I think there's still some more downside potentially this month. We did pass that government shutdown bill for a temporary 45 days, So to me, I mean, to everybody else, obviously, they're going to scream out bullish, but I mean, in another 45 days, we're going to be right back to the same spot. But there's a bunch of other stuff going around. So I won't get too into it because everybody has their own opinion. But as you can see here, we're looking at Apple. So what we want to see on Apple is we want to see it regain its bullish momentum, right? So as you can see, right now it's not. Like it's starting to show, a little increase in volume here on selling. There's your hammer. It's reversing down. Let's go to the weekly. What's it doing on the weekly? And for those of you that don't know what EMAs I use the 5, 8, 21, and 50, and then the 200 SMA. That's all I use. I mean, I guess I could go to the 9, but there's really not that much of a difference from, like a couple cents, because all I'm really looking for is what these candles, the candles talk to me. I really could care less if it's off by a couple cents. Nobody's always right, even though everybody likes to, take credit for it, for being right. Anyways, so that was a weekly, still showing bearish. The daily, though, looks like it wants to regain some bullish momentum, right? So we're going to draw out some trend lines here going into tomorrow. There's the setup right there. So I'll show you what I have already charted out. Now that we have our daily setup, there's our reversal candle, but the sellers did step in, and this is what we're looking at. Let's actually look at the 4-hour first. So 4-hour, we had this bearish engulfing right here. Looks like we hit a little supply zone right here that we made that I have not added. So we'll just go ahead and add that real quick. So it makes sense to you guys with what I'm about to say, because I still think Apple's going to come down to this 167.04 and lower. And 6% of Apple is a pretty big figure, for QQQ, and SPY, I want to say SPY is like 4% or something like that. Anyways, it's the biggest market mover. So as long as Apple still remains bearish, I'm going to continue shorting these pops. I mean, just wait for the setup. And here we go. So it looks like it set another one here. So we look like we were going to break above this little supply zone that we have here. And boom, it drops. And for those of you that don't know how to supply, you go to the top of the wick, depending on which one's higher from this red and green. And again, the candle has to be something like this, with followed by a green candle, someone similar to like this. It could be something like this too. And you're just going to go from the high to the close. Or no, sorry, high to the open. Yeah, sorry, high to the open, high of the wick to the open. And that would be your supply. And then demand would be something like this. You go to the lower wick of the two, and then to the open of this candle. That'd be your demand. Hopefully I didn't say that backwards. If I did, you guys can correct me. But you know what I'm saying. Anyways, so we look like we're starting to break down more, right? So let's go to the hourly. So there's the 4-hour. Now you can draw your trend lines. They help to kind of give you some kind of confirmation or something, so you can follow your plan. What I'm going to be looking for on Apple is I would love another push up. And if we break above this, which also, has that daily 8 EMA here. I love using these EMAs in volume. We do look like we're going to continue down lower. So if we break below this 170, it looks like we do have a little bit of a demand going on here. So to be safe, so you don't get caught, because let's say it does go below 170, you could scalp it for like maybe a dollar move to 169.14 to 168.35. And then what if it reverses somewhat similar like this? Then it would be a double bottom. So then temporarily would be bullish on Apple, you know, for the week or whatever the case may be. So what I'm looking for is an entry off 172.92 because we did gap up a little bit. I'm sure we're probably going to fill it overnight. But if we don't and we gap up above it, then it could go higher. Apple does have a gap here to fill at 175.97 from when it gapped down the other day. So there's a couple spots here that we could be looking for entries. But overall, I am looking for Apple to go towards this level down here. I'll show you the 200 SMA. That's what I'm looking at. Oops. Again, sorry, getting these little caffeine fingers jittering around everywhere. So that's what I'm looking for this week. I'm looking for 162.23. On the daily, you can see the 5 and the 8 EMAs just coasting along. We rejected the 21 earlier up here. We have yet to regain the 21 and the 50. But these two do seem to be wanting to kind of do something like this. Maybe, like I said, like a double bottom and then break out. And then we'll look for entries around here at 174.82 for some short positions. Because short term, I'm bullish. Long term, I am somewhat slightly biased. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised too if Apple popped up here at 181.47. Again, this could all change depending on what our CPI numbers do within the next 2 weeks or whatever it is. So again, I just go day to day, but still in a downtrend. Okay, clearly. So let's go to SPY. SPY. So right here, I show a couple people what happens when the 50 crosses the 21. I'll give you an example over here. That was back in March when it went up to the upside. And then it just had this huge, you know, support movement by the EMAs and obviously everything else from prior history, prior price actions history. So what happens when it goes to the downside? Right here. So we could probably see something like this for October. But what I am looking forward to is this. If I can, here we go. So this is price action from last September to October. We hit the all-time highs, what, in July? This is August. Or all 52-week high. Sorry, I apologize. But all-time high for Apple, right? So same thing as last year. SPY and Apple had the same movement right here. It's just a seasonal thing where we just continue to sell off. And here's what happened the last time we did that. And then eventually, it never really regained the 21 EMA until it tried again, rejected. That's why it's important to understand what these daily EMAs. I don't really use the hourly, the 4 hour, all that. I mainly use just the daily. They tend to work a lot better. So with that being said, we did gap up on Friday. We sold off. We're still in this little range here. And again, we did gap up. Let me look at something real quick. Let's go to, we gapped up to 43.49 with a high of 43.54, and we're filling the gap back down to 43.29. So what we're going to be looking at, first I'm going to show you this clean chart, because if I put up my support and resistance and all that, we're all going to be like, what the hell is going on? So again, look, there's your supply zone right here that we hit or came close to, and we never regained that. So now we're below the 5 and the 8 again. We tried. So again, remember, at one point they will be support when we're in a bull market, and vice versa when we're in a bear market, or the reversal and the resistance. They do that, right? Look at that. Bang. And again, downtrend. Try to regain, back under. So for SPY, not really interested in calls until we break over this 430.87, which it got close to on this gap up. And again, if we come back down, we're going to be looking 427.48 or 428-ish when we open up, with some daily support here at 425.48. So now we got that out of the way. Back to the 4-hour, still in a downtrend, looking like we're probably going to open up again, like I said, probably maybe flat. And if we do open up slightly high, there's a supply zone right there, right? And again, that number that I gave you, that 430, we're going to be looking to be safer, calls over 431.54 with confirmation. And when I say that, you know, like you don't want to buy the breakout. Like let's say the level was right here, so I can give you an example, because one thing I hate doing or hate watching people do is to buy the fake breakout. So there's that level, for example, it comes up, boom, and then we open up like this on the smaller frames. This is the 4-hour. I'm just giving you an example. So what I would like to see is if we do go up, I want to see it come back down to retest and then enter for the move up. Don't ever buy on momentum like that unless you're already in from like previous support and all that. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's go here to what I have for tomorrow. So here's the daily 5 and the 80 EMAs. I have them charted on here along with my support and resistance and supply zones. And this magical 61.8 retracement to see if we can break above. And if we do, then that would give me even more conviction to the upside, right? So again, depending on where we open up, I'm going to be looking for a rejection here again. And if we break above that, then I'll obviously enter calls. Or we did have a huge amount of volume on the daily, so we could even range, you know. We can sit here and basically just be caught on buying the top and the low for the day after the volume increase, which typically that's what we do on SPY. So like we'll get this huge spike in volume and everybody expects continuation, and then we just range in like a $2-3 range for the day. And there's a certain way how you can avoid being chopped up like that, which I'll do on a separate video. I'm trying to keep this one small, kind of went longer than I wanted to, but those are the two stocks I'm watching right now. I am watching NVIDIA and Tesla, so I'll go over those real quick just to kind of give you like a quicker breakdown instead of kind of giving you the specific breakdown on Apple and SPY and how they move together and what we're looking for. Still in the downtrend. Yeah, so for SPY, I would like to see us break out of this. Let's see. Depending where we open up again, I'll do another video. So well, I'll try to do these daily, just so we can see how many people I can get engaged in the following. You know, I love doing this shit. This shit is fun. Yeah. So uncertain where we're doing, but I still think we go down. So there's the low of the day Friday, 425.91, and there's the high of the day Friday, 431.85. Pretty big range. So depending where we open up, we'll probably range there, kind of give us a doji day. And until SPY can regain the daily 5 and the 8 to retest the 21 and the 50, so you can see where they're at. Look, 21's at 437, 50's at 439.94. So before we start talking about all-time highs, we should probably clear a few obstacles, right? So it's my 2 cents. Let's look at NVIDIA. Go to the daily, and I'll show you what I have on watch. So we had a daily bear flag that it finally showed like it was going to break out, and it came right back into this trend. So I'm actually looking to short depending on where we open up again. Like again, if we can't clear this 440.88 to come back up to this 460 area ish, then you know obviously it's going to be easy short again. So I showed you when we're downtrending, right, and they try to regain these EMAs, it regained the 5 and the 8, so it's showing that it's going to give us a buy signal right here. It gave us that over here on the stochastic slow. And for those of you that don't use the MACD, I use the 5 and the 8 crossover. So like a MACD, you can put them side by side so you can see the 5 and the 8 crossing over, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And again, here there's the 50 and the 21 attempting to cross back up, right? Like it looked like it was going to cross down, And again, this is where they try to trick you. So you play your levels, you'll be fine. We can possibly get some shorts. I'm looking at 430p, maybe even 420. So here's the range for this going into tomorrow. So we're looking at like 440 to 425. And we have support here at 423. Look at that. And again at 415. That's daily support, right? So let's go look on the 4-hour. 4-hour, look at this. We had the trend up. There's that 61.8 to retrace back to 460, rejected, and we're starting to come back down, right? And then look, there's us back in that trend. Hope you're following me. So I am temporarily bearish on NVIDIA. I think the AI hype is dying down. It was cool, but how long can you really hype that up? Like, again, my opinion. So we gapped up over the supply. We rejected that 61.8, couldn't regain the 21 and the 50 EMA, spiking it right back down into a possible uptrend. So what I am looking for is if we do, you know, like we did, like I said, we did gap up, right? So what I want to see is us come up back up to this 440, try to regain these EMAs even there for a short. You know, if we blow past that, there's that, or even the high day Friday right here, 441. And then there's another supply zone. So we could, what I've seen time and time again too, is for shorting the pop, it'll look something like this. So it'll start off green, open, and then we get this huge move up like NVIDIA did Friday. And then you'll be able to short the pop. Like candle didn't close, right? So automatically you should react to that and short the life out of that thing, like make some money, you know. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was this was my game plan on Friday. I was 30 minutes too soon, ended up minus 1600 for the day. Could have been plus 4,000. I mean, whatever, right? Charge it to the game, learn from your losses, and move on. So I'm gonna hopefully see us come back down here. This is where it starts to get like a little anxious, right? So we know what support and resistance are. It's pretty basic. So here comes the 5 and the 8. So let's say we sell off, and NVIDIA usually moves in like tens for the day. So like it'll open up, and then it, let's say it opens up at like, you know, pushes up to 440, we short, it'll come down to 430, and then look what's right here, 429, 428, daily 5 and 8 EMAs. So that'll be probably my exit since I like to play weekly, but I am looking to start like a short leap position on it. Probably 300 end of December. Yeah, anyways, that's what I'm bearish on NVIDIA, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for shorting it here at 440, break over that. You know, we'll be able to see what it does up here. And above that, we'll be able to scalp it up to 460 if I gain some momentum. Tesla, can't really tell you if I'm bullish or bearish yet because, for one, if it gapped up over the 5 daily, it held it like into the last 4 hours of the day, and you know, it's holding above it, and also holding above the 8, but it looks like it's coming back down. And then again, like I showed you on all the other stocks, support and resistance, look, here's your daily 50, could not hold above that. It was above the 21 for a while, and then it just died off. So now it's starting to downtrend again. So they report their delivery numbers tomorrow. Can't tell you what I'm looking for yet. Like, I mean, I can obviously tell you right now, you know, like if they're good, obviously they're going to gap up again. And depending on the weakness and the strength of the supply zones, you know, we'll be able to hop into some shorts, but if it's good, we'll might as well catch the ride up, right? Tesla likes to gap up and stay up for a couple of days before it reverses. So we'll see. So as long as it's not above 250, we're going to short it. That's a no-brainer. And then we'll write it down to this demand zone that we got down here. So I'm looking at 240 break. We break 240 this week, we're going for 230. So again, it just depends on the numbers. Because if we gap up, we'll probably be above this 252. And we'll start pushing for 260, well, 259.9. I just rounded it up. 261.94, 265.85, and 0.73. So there's your 4-hour. Let's go to the hourly. And you can see, like I said, like I can't really tell you whether I'm bearish or bullish on that. Kind of depends on those numbers. So those of you that tuned in and watched this whole video, I greatly appreciate you. Hopefully you support me in the future and we can start trading together. You know what I'm saying? So till then, you guys have a good one. See you tomorrow.